with me and start recording on there, and then it's over to you, Robert.
Thank you, Faye. Thank you very much indeed. Hello, everyone. I'm going to, I think we've got a few students in and we're recording for the future as well. So I'll just start showing my PowerPoint. Here we go, it's beginning, which is we're going to look at today at studying drama in higher education. Has that come through as a full PowerPoint? Faye, is that...
Yes, it has. Yeah,
lovely.
We can see
Thank you very much. So, hello everyone. My name's Dr. Robert Marsden. I'm head of Department of Media and Performance at Staffordshire University, and an associate professor here, and teach acting and directing. And the point of the next 20 minutes, half an hour or so in terms of this little presentation is to give you a little whistle-stop tour of studying drama in higher education and the different routes in. And then at the end, I'll just introduce Staffordshire University to give you a flavour of what we do here as well. But there are so many different types of courses that we can't presuppose that what we do is the same as everywhere else, as hopefully this presentation will allow. And then, as Faye was saying, there'll be some time at the end for questions and hopefully to answer anything that you might need to know. So you may have seen, you may have heard people joke about, oh, what do you do with a drama degree? What do you do on a drama degree? Do you just spend 3 years being a tree? And there's a little cartoon there from an American newspaper. He owes $30,000 for a degree in drama, but right now he's not acting, as if that's the only thing that we can do. And there's a lot of, I want to spend a bit of time doing some myth busting around drama degrees, studying drama degrees, because they are an arts degree. And that's the point that I'd like to get across today. You are studying for an arts degree in a university, regardless of the subject. So that's really important, I think, as well as following your passion and your areas of interest. It's not just about the subject, it's about the wider experience that you get of studying on a degree in a university. Graduate destinations for drama are pretty excellent overall in relation to the employability of drama students. So the graduate destinations we're going to look at in a moment show that many go on to postgraduate study and are working in full-time and part-time after graduation. It's the same for the other creative arts subjects, 95% in television production there, 94% in English, which is obviously an arts and humanities subject in many ways, and 95% for music. But it's not always jobs related though. The stats are that there are only 17.9% of drama graduates are working directly in the creative industries, but it's the transferable skills that you can draw on. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the difference between drama schools and universities coming up as well. But the takeaway message here really is the employability of a drama graduate. And here's just some of the stats from 2020, that 70% are working full or part-time. Other people have gone on to do further study. That might be to do a master's in acting at a drama school, or to do their teacher training, for example, and so on. So you can see that there's a really strong set of graduate skills that can be employed then upon graduation. And I'm not going to go through all of these slides, but the creative industries contributed before the pandemic to 111 billion to the UK economy. So if you're going to study a drama degree, you're employable within the creative industries, very much so, and that they do contribute so much to the economy here. The performing arts alone contributes 9 billion a year, and there's no reason with the bounce back post-COVID that that's not going to happen. So the takeaway message really is in terms of the wider creative industries where you might utilize a drama degree. And the important thing is that those creative industries are enormous, that they bring in a lot to the economy. Think about just the acting in particular, that you're on the tube in London and that's an actor's voice. A voiceover on the television, that's an actor's voice. You may go to the airport and you have one of those holograms, that might be an actor's voice. But then the package around to create those materials, whether it be an audio, whether it be cinema, whether it be theatre, audio visual, all of those marketing campaigns and so on, are enormous, and that all feeds in, and you can utilize your drama degree in that way. I think what's really important I think what's really important is the Future of Jobs report for the World Economic Forum. Look at those skills on the right-hand side. This is what you get from a drama degree. The sixth one down, creativity, originality and initiative. You're creative in drama. You're creating original work. You're thinking originally, particularly by the third year of your drama degree. You're using your initiative to get work on and to create work. The next point down under creativity and originality is around leadership. You might be doing some directing as part of your drama degree. My word, you can then therefore lead or go into teaching because you know how to construct a session like you would construct a rehearsal. And a bit further down, the second one up from the bottom, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility. I argue that good drama graduates have resilience. They know how to take some knocks and get up again, because you're having to do that through project working, through how you work in a rehearsal. Stress tolerance, it's stressful. You've got to get a show on. That opening night is not going away. That's 7:30 on that Friday date. That's not going away. It puts you under a form of stress, a creative stress. It's not a debilitating stress, but there's a sense of stress there because you've got to present a piece of work to the public. That opening night isn't going away. But if you can learn how to deal with that and see that as an opportunity rather than something that's debilitating, again, you have got these skills for the future, and that's really important. And also this stands on some other shoulders in relation to the Council for Industry and Higher Education. This is a while ago now, but the World Economic Forum stands on these shoulders where people want good communicators. If you're a drama graduate, you're working vocally as well as physically, you can communicate. Team working, you're always working as part of a team, and you have integrity. You know what stories you want to tell and you know how to tell those stories. And I argue that drama graduates coming to study drama in a university environment develops those skills in communication, team working and integrity. And then also what we were looking at before in terms of resilience, creativity, originality. So let's question this notion of the Mickey Mouse degree in the arts. Let's question what does it mean to be a drama student, and let's bust some myths apart. This idea of a soft subject, a Mickey Mouse subject. I don't know if anyone agrees with me here, but I don't believe it's a soft subject. Why? Because you have to really develop critical and creative capacities as a drama graduate. You're thinking about plays and practitioners, not just Stanislavski as you may be studying, but all different world practices and methods of creating work as actors and directors and designers and dramaturgs. You're having to really think creatively and make and work and negotiate. You're negotiating. If you're in a company of 15 putting on a play, you have to compromise, you have to negotiate. All of those skills develop you critically and creatively into practitioners and potential practitioners of the future. It's not a soft subject in that way. There's often a myth that, oh, you're couch potatoes, you just do some stuff in the evening, don't you? I know here at Staffordshire University, the drama students are starting at 9 o'clock with a warm up and some yoga and are rehearsing till 6 o'clock. They're doing that today in the studios, for example, all socially distanced and masked as they're doing some practical work back on campus. So there's high contact hours in many universities, and certainly in the conservatoire settings in drama schools. You're working on productions, you're doing out of hours work. You certainly need stamina to do a drama degree. Drama graduates can't get a job. What are you going to do with your drama degree? People said to me when I did my drama degree in the 1990s. Well, actually, we've just seen some of the stats there that 70% of drama graduates are in jobs. 20% of those are working in the creative industries nearly. So it's about not only the skills that you develop within your subject, but those transferable skills. We talk about what we hear, oh, they're irrelevant, these courses, they're not appropriate to industry. I know the work that we do at Staffordshire, and certainly in my external examining work that I do in other universities, that employability is embedded right the way through the curriculum. There's a lot of real world simulations and authentic approaches that are built in, developing those creative skills. So there's a lot of myths that we can really bust apart, I think. One thing I want you to really think about is that every course is very, very different. So when it says you're going to go and study drama in higher education or university, it can be an umbrella term that's bandied about. It could be drama, acting, theatre studies, performance studies, musical theatre, dance, scenography, and community theatre. That's just a few. So we've really got to unpick what it means to study drama in higher education. And I applaud this HE week because it's about taking time to understand these things. So if you'd look at a drama degree, you might have a drama degree in the university that specialises more in community work. You might have a drama degree that looks at non-Western approaches to drama. You might have a drama degree that's very text-based. So start to really do your homework in terms of the content of the drama degree. If you have a theatre studies degree, that may be more theoretical in their approach. Be careful of performance as well, because sometimes we use performing arts or performance where we might think about musical theatre, singing, dance and acting. But at some universities, performance means more devised work and live art. So you've really got to unpick what it means if you look at a performance degree. So again, take your time, look at all the online information, look at the prospectuses, go to the virtual open days or the actual open days, try and make contact with the course leaders. They're more than happy to speak to you, is in my experience across universities, and really try and find the right course for you. It's 3 years, I always say it's 3 years of your life, and that you're investing in this personally, you're investing in it financially. The course has to be right for you. So so take your time to really do a deep dive into what it means when you look at the title drama. Also, what you need to be thinking is practical versus academic. You may have a very, very practical drama or acting degree in a university. So at Staffordshire, we're 80% practical, for example. But you may go to another university where it's more 50-50, and it's more practice and 50% theory. So you've really got to ask those questions. What's the balance between the kind of the practice and the theory? You've also got to ask whether you are vocationally training or whether you're doing the practical work to explore something. So what do I mean by that? There are some acting degrees now in universities as well as drama schools that train you for the industry. It's a vocational training, high contact hours of 30 hours minimum a week and so on, training you to do one thing. But I'd really like to encourage you to think about asking the questions, does your practical work train me to do one thing, or is it there to practically explore a concept or an idea? So we may have a lecture or a seminar or something like that, and then we go into a studio for 3 hours and unpick that. Some universities operate that model. So really think about, ask those questions, what contact hours you have in relation to the practice and what that means. That's a top tip I would certainly put forward. And remember that drama degrees have only been around since the late 40s, but only really developed in the 60s, 70s, and then 80s, and then in the 90s. So there's now loads of courses about. Although it's still relatively seen as a new subject, there are over 160 odd courses at a quick UCAS search that I did the other day. Sometimes with joints, so you might do drama in English, drama and journalism, other times not. So there's so many courses, and I don't envy your task to unpick some of these. But the course has to be right for you. So do ask those questions as you're doing your homework. What I would also say is that drama and universities can open up other doors. So this is the difference between a drama school and a university. And the debate here, these are two articles from The Stage, one only a couple of weeks ago, one from a couple of years ago. This debate comes up every so often. Do you go to drama school or university? But there's much more of a blurring. The very bottom line is a drama school is training you to do one thing. You are training to be an actor, or to be a designer or a director. That's that one thing that you do. You go to train to do that and to go straight into the industry. That's really, really important to know. At university, there may still be a training route, but there's more optionality. So at a drama school, you wouldn't really take one student wouldn't have a very different degree scheme to another student. So you wouldn't pick lots and lots and lots of different options. But to university, you may have a common core of modules, but then someone might say, actually, I'd like to do 2 or 3 directing modules, 2 or 3 design modules, 2 or 3 playwriting modules. So you might come out with quite a different experience, even under the same degree title. So universities can open up other avenues, I would argue. That's a very simplified route. This is where your precision in terms of your research is really, really important. But many people are looking at dramas, at university courses over drama schools for those reasons. They get doors suddenly open that they may not have been aware of. You may do one module in, say, community theatre or one module in directing and suddenly see a different avenue that opens up for you. Whereas at drama school, you are training to be an actor from day one. That's what you're doing. So have a real think about the difference between drama schools and universities. So again, we've spoken about this. I won't. So this just captures what we've been talking about. So there's a generalization that there's practice and theory, and that drama schools are more vocational in the direction. So there's some general principles there. And again, just to reiterate, at HE level, you might be able to bring in different interests from further education work or extracurricular activities. So it may be where, oh, I'm really interested at further education, or in my sixth form or BTEC or A level, I was interested in Arto, or I was interested in this bit of devising. Where in my university 3 years can I find a space to explore that in some way? So you can bring in and feed those things in a university setting as well. You can often get involved in wider curricular activities and take on the wider university experience with societies and clubs and cross-departmental activities. So have a think about where am I leading with all this? Think about whether you want to think about theatre. Do I want to go and do a more theoretical drama degree? Or do you want to make and do some theatre and explore it, but not necessarily go out into the industry? Do a good arts degree in a university context and get involved in my subject that I love? Or do you want to train as an actor, director or designer? A bit of all, or you're not sure? By starting to unpick and answer some of these questions, you may then start to find the course that's right for you. So degrees can be specialised. They may address one area, e.g. acting, or applied theatre or musical theatre, or they could be a lot broader. So you might do a drama degree and do a bit of acting, a bit of directing, a bit of design, a bit of writing. And they can vary. We offer at Staffordshire a 3-year degree, but there are some 2-year, often called a fast track. There are some 2-year courses out there, often in more private providers. And sometimes you might think, I'm not ready for university yet, and there are foundation years or that can lead you in. Or you might find that people do a HND and do their 1-year top up at a university. So you suddenly get into the 3rd year and you're joined by students from a college who may have done a HND, a higher national diploma, and then join us for a top up. So there's different delivery structures, and again, you've got to think about what's right for you. But most courses in the United Kingdom are the 3-year traditional degree with foundation year options. How is it taught? It will be taught differently everywhere. We're 80% practical. We're mainly in workshops, performances and films. But we do somewhat called mixed mode. We might all get together for 3 hours, do a little bit of practice, a little bit of discussion, a little bit of reflection. We might watch something, read a little bit out loud together. So a big kind of practical mixed mode session. We also do some masterclasses at times where we bring in some industry experts who might give us some masterclasses. We don't do this at Staffordshire, but if you go to a more maybe where there's more of an academic strand, you may have more formal lectures, so in a lecture theatre that are followed up by discussion seminars. We don't do that at Staffordshire, but there will be places that do that. And then you might have trips. We do trips here to New York and to London, COVID permitting, of course, where we do workshops abroad, we see work and we talk to people and we have talks. That really is part of the learning experience rather than a bolt-on. Most places you'll have one-to-one tutorials to develop academic and pastoral skills. And moving forward out of COVID, online and blended learning. Some of the more contextual and more academic strands may end up being taught online moving forward, which frees up studio spaces for more practical based work. So you may see some shifts in delivery moving forward, because we have learned that there are some good, some positive teaching strategies that can come out of different approaches, and where we can then really use our studio time and have more studio time because we've been doing some online or blended approaches. So that's a question I would ask when you're doing your open days. How is it being taught as well? At Staffordshire, we've got a master's provision, but the one that we really want to talk about today really is the BA Honours Acting for Stage and Screen. It's a practice-based degree. There's some videos here, but I might play those at the end if we've got some time. Some promo videos, but if it's being recorded, I think we'll do that. We base our degrees here in relation to storytelling and sense making and collaboration. What does that mean? Well, we storytell as actors and directors. We tell stories and we make stories. What does sense making mean? Well, it means we make sense of the world around us through our drama and through our theatre. At the very least, theatre should make us want to question the world. At the most, it should make us want to go out and change the world. So we try and make sense of the world around us through theatre. And our final kind of core pillar is this idea of collaboration, really making sure that we're always collaborating. Actors and directors are collaborating. Actors collaborate with the text. We collaborate with students and lecturers when we're in practical work. We collaborate with technology now. We do green screen work, and we collaborate with the digital technologies in our acting. So we're always using our imagination, we're always being creative, we're always exploring, and we're always analysing. Some of the key things that you'll probably find in higher education when you study drama is what we do here at Staffordshire, that there's what we call authentic assessment. What we mean by that is that we won't ask you at Staffs to write an essay if we think actually doing a mock arts council report would be more authentic and more real world. So we try and take a real world approach. We're really industry focused. We have a strong sense of what the industry needs, not only now but in the future, hence why we're building in digital capacities in terms of digital media and recorded media and green screen and virtual production. And that's informed by the research that we do and how we work as practitioners. We've got academics here who still work as directors and actors, so that feeds back into the curriculum. And academics and practitioners work together, so outside practitioners come and work with the academics on the course to deliver, to direct. That's really important to us. At Staffordshire, we're creative and collaborative, as we've discussed. We're 80% practical, which we've mentioned, but we've got a fully optional third year. So you get to the end of the second year and you think, what am I good at? What am I interested in upon graduation? Do I want to go on and do postgraduate study or teacher training or acting in a drama school, or do I want to go into academia or go into business and so on? So you can choose your third year options. You might create your own company, you might do more acting, you might do more directing, you might do some more writing. So you can choose your options accordingly. You might do a fully theoretical third year, you might write a dissertation. A few students do that route. So that's a USP. So that's what we do at Staffordshire. But when you're going to open days and asking questions, talk about how the option palettes work. How many options can you take? Where are my interests and skills that lie outside of the core, the main curriculum, echoed in the options? Because a lot of students say, I come to Staffordshire because in the third year I can do these 2 playwriting modules, or I can set up my own theatre company. So it's important to see what your options can allow you to do. And there's an optional trips as well to, as we said, to New York. So in 4 minutes, I'll give you a quick whistle-stop tour of the course. In the first year, you have a grounding in acting, text, voice, and movement. You're working on some shorts for closed and invited audiences. You're doing some contextual strands around movers and shakers. Who are the movers and shakers in 2,000 years of Western theatre tradition? And who are the movers and shakers in the 100-odd years of acting for screen and acting for film, and therefore, and recently television and audio? So you'll get a really strong practical through line. And you'll also do bits of directing and writing in the first year. You'll get a practical through line in acting, and then you'll also get contextual through line. At level 5, everyone does 2 productions. You'll do for public audience, you'll do a contemporary play, and you do a heightened text play. In recent years, that's been Shakespeare, but you might do Jacobean or other heightened texts. It's all skills led. So the rehearsals and the production are the end product of lots of skills classes feeding into rehearsals, feeding into a public performance where you can really test those skills out. Also at level 5, you do an acting for recorded media where you're doing recordings on location and adapting performance for audio and camera on location and in the studio. And you're also really thinking about industry strands as well. And then at level 6, as we've said, it's a fully optional third year at Staffordshire. But again, not all drama courses run in the same way. So do ask if you're shopping around. So at level 6, you might do a fully theoretical third year, fully practical third year, or somewhere in between. You can create your own company and decide what texts or projects you want to do. We've had children's theatre companies being made. We've had companies that have toured into care homes. We've had companies that have toured into children's hospitals in Birmingham and Manchester, and then we've had comedy companies being set up. You can write a dissertation and do a research strand if you wish. You can do a Russian play using Russian experiential rehearsal techniques under the Demidov technique of acting and active analysis, really experiential, where you never take the script onto the rehearsal room floor, but still end up with the final piece. If you're interested in that, ask me about that, or come and do the course. You can also do a classic play where you're rehearsing and performing in a classic play, or you could opt to do some directing if you wish. There's a voice, an acting through song module that you can look at. There's a final film module where you can do an extended half-hour mini feature, as it were, and there's an acting for digital media module where you can do green screen and audio and so on. So it's really thinking about what are my options at level 6 and how do I construct a degree that works for me. We do have some study abroad placements currently in the Erasmus scheme, and I suspect that will continue into the Turing scheme as well. So we do it at the moment for the next couple of years. We're finalising with the Erasmus scheme where you can study abroad in Spain or Budapest at the moment. So that's really important as well, to look at those different options. Just moving forward, so we've spoken quite a lot. I'm just aware of the time, so I'm going to start to round up a little bit. But we're just at drama at Staffordshire University, we do, as well as all that wonderful palette of creative modules and productions and films, we're really making sure that we've got your transferable skills in there, that you can have a varied career path. You might become a freelancer and set up your own company and do some employment work and run a workshop in schools. We want you to feel confident to be able to have a multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary approach to your career upon graduation. We're very keen to point out that they're not golden tickets, these drama degrees, to working in the theatre industry, but they do increase your chances in that sense. So that's really important. But a lot of our drama graduates go on to create their own companies, develop their own work, set themselves up as practitioners in order to create work. And here just a short list of some of the careers that our graduates personally have gone on to. So as well as actors and directors, people have gone into marketing, public relations. They've gone into teaching drama and English. They've gone on to be arts administrators and production managers, which has been great. They've been promoters and events promoters. They've set up their own companies as theatre makers and practitioners. They've gone into publishing houses, and they've also gone into leadership roles because of maybe they've done directing routes, and that's opened up some possibilities. So as well as those creative arts routes, people go into all sorts of career pathways and trajectories at Staffs. Entry requirements across the United Kingdom and HEIs will differ from your points. Some will have an interview, some will have an audition, some will just do it on your application alone. At Staffordshire University, because it's highly practical, we've got 112 points. The reason that's for us that we really use the audition workshop entry. We want to get to know you. It's not about points on a page. It's about what's your creative acumen? How creative are you? How open are you? Let's explore and play together in that workshop, and then we can really kind of see your skills base. You get the chance to see us at work, and you get a sense of, is this really somewhere I want to be for 3 years at Staffordshire? So you can use the audition entry as a way of testing us out. We get to see you. It's a two-way thing. There's lots of chance to show us your skills, show us your monologue skills, and your or you have a group workshop, and then there's lots of chance for discussion and chat. Us to find out about you, you to find out about us. So it can become a little mini open day as well. At the moment, we're doing those online. Hopefully, we can get back to doing some face-to-face ones of those in the future. Other universities, if they're very highly academic and little practical work, may just take it on the UCAS form, or there may be an interview attached to that as well. So do check what the entry requirements are. They'll be different. But for us, it's 112 points, not just in theatre. It can be in any FE or qualification, and we've also got and we can take into account the Lambda qualifications as well. They have UCAS points attached to them as well, and then it's an audition entry. But again, do check, do the homework on that. So on the form, what do we look for? Actually, we meet you first and then read your form. So whilst the admissions team will have a look at the UCAS form, we then meet you and then read your form because we want to meet the individual first. That's how we work at Staffs, but it's different everywhere. But what we're also interested in, they're the things that might not come across when you're with us for those 3 hours. So you might put on your UCAS form some of your interest in the subject by your personal statement. And you might also put on some work experience or aligned experience, or you might have led some workshops in schools, or done some amateur dramatics, or that might be as an actor or stage manager, or done bits of directing or producing, or done some volunteering work, or taking a year out and doing some leadership roles. So we really use the UCAS. We really want to see on that form your wider experiences and lived experience, as it were, when you come to us. A couple of contacts there. I'm sure that the team will be able to send these all around. There's my email there, head of department. We've also got Paul's email there, p.christie@staffs.ac.uk, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Staffs Uni Drama. Have a search for us, and you should find us quite easily. So now that's been a bit of a whistle-stop tour. The presentation, which I'll share with the team there, has a couple of video links and hyperlinks in there to take you to various sites on UCAS and also to us as well. So that draws my little presentation to an end, and we've got a bit of time for any questions. So I'll stop sharing, and I'll make sure that video goes over.
Thank you, Robert.
Stop presenting. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that was really great. I have to say, it was particularly helpful. I think you covered pretty much everything we would have probably asked, to be honest with you. If anybody does have any questions, obviously put that in the chat now. But otherwise, I do think that was a really thorough, overview of not just drama at your university, but more generally, which is fantastic, and also the uses for the degree wider and afterwards as well, which was really great to hear about.
And I do say, I had one thing actually, Faye, that I do say often. Some students say, should I go to drama school or university? I really want to be an actor. And I often say, sometimes see it as a 4-year route. If you're questioning whether you want to go to drama school, actually, it might be more useful to see a 4-year package in mind, where you might say, I'm not quite sure yet. I don't have the confidence to do all those auditions and so on. I might do a drama degree to start to test the waters around the practice-based work, whether acting's for me. Use the degree to find that out. And then often universities will say, actually, those that are interested in doing a 1-year postgraduate drama school training, we can support you with that. Yeah. Because actually the degree can help allow you to find that out. So I do often say to people, sometimes see a 4-year package in front of you, rather than gosh, I've got to cram it all into one thing. It's either university or drama school, and I'm panicking about it. So there's different ways of approaching, I would argue, the experience.
That's great. Sorry, I just lost you for a moment, but really fantastic, Robert. And yeah, it was really helpful going through those differences, and certainly focusing on the difference between the drama school and going down an academic route with yourselves. That's fantastic. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop recording now. I don't think we've got any questions, just some thank yous. So very much appreciated, Robert, for your time. And yeah, we'll share that with our students.